Good afternoon, meteorologist Mike Linden here, coming at you live from the MyRadar studio right here in Orlando, Florida. I hope that you are all doing well. Of course, wherever you are watching from, we really appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click on that notification bell, that thumbs up as well, the like button. It really helps us out a lot. And again, that notification bell, click on that too. That way you always know whenever we drop a new video, whenever we go live, whenever we have an awesome giveaway to do. Lots of stuff happening on the YouTube channel. And of course, thank you so much for helping us reach 100,000 subscribers. I mean, an incredible milestone that we are all really excited about. We cannot wait to see what the future has in store for us. But of course, you're watching now from wherever you are. Let us know in the chat where you are watching from. But the big story thus far this summer, outside of the monsoon season in the American Southwest, of course, it's tornado season, or hurricane season, I should say, lest we forget, but it has been the summer heat that has dominated the forecast across the United States. I've got the temperature overlay turned on here on the MyRadar app, but let's take a look at the app where you can have that animate on. Tap on the layers menu, and right at the top there, you have the radar options, classic high def. You have the per station radar option, which is a premium feature, but then right there, temp map will give you this really awesome temperature visualization across the world. But what I'm going to do on top of this is go to the temperatures right here at the top, and we'll be able to look at current temperatures across the United States. Now, when you see rectangles, for example, we're here in Florida, when you see those rectangles, those are water temperatures. Typically, they're just off of the coastline coming from buoys. But then you have those oval shapes. Those are land-based temperatures. So let's take a look at temperatures across the United States. And I don't have to waste much time to see some of the hottest temperatures. And they're right out here over southwestern Arizona and over California and Nevada. There's Sin City right now, 104 degrees in Las Vegas, 106 there for Arizona and for California. Of course, keep in mind, Death Valley in Southern California, some of the hottest temperatures ever recorded on the planet Earth a couple of days ago, hitting 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, hottest on Earth ever recorded. Those are some bananas facts there. And then how about this temperature differential? You want to talk about how much the mountains can help you cool down. Look at the western slopes of the Cascades in Oregon. 47 degrees on the coast there and for the water. But then look at this, 90 degrees in Medford. So the Pacific Northwest is even very, very hot. And that is certainly not helping things when we talk about what layer I'm going to turn on next. Let's jump back to the layers menu. I'm going to turn on the high def radar. We'll turn off the temperatures. And then what I'm going to do is go down to the wildfires layer. Now, of course, it is wildfire season. And right now, the nation's largest fire is burning in Oregon. But I'm going to show you that here on the MyRadar app. First, what I'm going to do is turn on the brand new feature to the app called Hotspots. And what these are, you can see the description in the app there, it's infrared satellite measurements of suspected wildfires and hotspots. So using satellite imagery, looking at the Earth, this is going to find where you might soon either see a wildfire spark up based on satellite imagery, or almost, in this particular sense, the leading edge of a wildfire. Notice right here, near Klamath County, Oregon. I'm going to now go back to the wildfires layer, turn on known wildfires, and there you go. That is the bootleg fire. Some information about the fire, we'll get to that in just a moment. But again, the hotspots there showing you essentially the leading edge of the fire front that firefighters, hotshots if you will, are on the ground battling. You want to talk about a tough job. It's firefighters battling firefighters out in the wild. So shout out to them doing amazing work out there, but up against it for one way or another with this storm, or with this wildfire, I should say. One more feature in here that's just been added to the app is the smoke hazard. So we'll turn off the known wildfires because it can get fairly busy. And look at this, showing you the smoke hazards across the United States. And with wildfires burning across the West, I mean, we're talking about smoke hazard from those fires over the Pacific Northwest and California, stretching all the way into spots like Minnesota and Wisconsin. I mean, that's really unbelievable. Of course, impacting air quality too. We were not too long ago talking to storm chaser Aaron Jayjack, who's in Manitoba, Canada. We'll show you some video from Aaron in just a moment, but he said the skies look all hazy and you can see the smoke. That's, of course, not only coming from British Columbia and Canada, but also coming from the Pacific Northwest as well. I mean, look at all those wildfire hotspots. It's wild stuff. But again, let's zoom back in here and look at the bootleg fire. You can see the leading edge of the fire front there. And now we're going to jump to some video of the bootleg fire. This is from the Bootleg Fire Facebook page, or rather, first we're going to take a look at some satellite imagery, if you will. This is from GOES 17. Of course, that is the GOES satellite over the western half of the United States. And I mean, just look at this imagery. I mean, it's hypnotizing to look at, right? But what you are looking at there is using some color overlays. You are seeing the fire burning there. This was last night, and the really scary part about this particular fire, it has doubled in size with each passing day. And let alone the fact that you can see the fire burning there at the surface. Look at the pyrocumulus, that being the clouds coming off of the fire. Look at them bubbling up higher into the atmosphere and pushing eastward. I mean, it's like Mother Nature's chimney stack there. Really unfortunate stuff. Of course, 'tis the season, right? But I mean, it's just hypnotizing satellite imagery to look at. Now let's get down to the surface and let's take a look at the bootleg fire from Klamath County, Oregon. The Pacific Northwest, one of the most beautiful spots across the United States, and it really pains me to see this kind of video because if you're a fan of going into the woods here, I mean, you're talking about some of the most beautiful, lush nature in the United States. And it's very densely packed. It's like a package of Q-tips with how close those trees are to one another. So a lot of dry fuel on the ground. Of course, we're dealing with wind from the reversal of the winds over the American Southwest. Not to mention, you have temperatures this time of year, especially this year, up into the 90s. Wasn't too long ago we were seeing triple digits across Oregon. Wild stuff there. Now, MyRadar storm chaser Aaron Jayjack, as I mentioned, is in Manitoba, Canada, and we want to show you some video from last year. This is from August 7th, 2020. This was in Linden, Manitoba, Canada. Aaron's in Boissevain, but this video from about a year ago, we had some issues connecting to Aaron earlier, but we still wanted to share this video with you here, considering how wild this video is here. Fun fact, Aaron's son was born 2 days later. He was storm chasing this particular tornado with his fiance, and then 2 days later his son was born. I mean, wild stuff. I mean, like father, like son, right? I mean, just look at that. This was measured to be an EF2 tornado just over the border in Canada. Unfortunately, two teenagers, both 18 years old, lost their lives in this particular tornado. But I mean, just look at the power of Mother Nature on full display there. Of course, Aaron is going to be chasing the Canadian prairie. That's why we show you this video, because this is the time of year where you start to see active weather like that across our neighbors to the north. And Aaron is going to be chasing down those funnels over the next couple of weeks. All right, so now let's jump back to the United States. Let's take a look at some cameras here, courtesy of our partners from WeatherStem. We begin at Columbus Academy in Gahanna, Ohio. And looks like we're having some issues with that particular camera there, but it wasn't too long ago that we were seeing some active weather pushing through Ohio. Damien, let me know if those cameras are having some issues here, and we can skip them all entirely. Okay, cool. So we'll get back to those WeatherStem cameras, the power of a live broadcast, right, folks? But let's jump into looking at your weather forecast before we look at those live cameras. Damien, just let me know when they're ready to go. Now, we begin with an update on the tropics. Of course, it is hurricane season, right? And there's nothing pressing to talk about. At least we don't have any named storms out there, but I wanted to show you this right here. This is brand new from the National Hurricane Center. This is just an area of interest, of course, in the MyRadar app. In fact, what we'll do here while I'm doing this is I will turn on the hurricane tracker layer. But there is a 10% chance of development here over the next 2 days, which is minimal stuff here. I am reconnecting here the app, Damien. Minimal chance of development here for this particular area of interest, let alone over the next 2 days. but over the next 5 days, still a 10% chance. There you can see in the MyRadar app, this will display those areas of interest. This is a premium feature. It's the hurricane tracker there. Not only can you see current hurricanes and area of interest, but you can also look back and look at historical paths going back several years. Really amazing stuff. I mean, look at the west there. It's wild. Of course, we have 2 areas of interest off the southwestern coastline of Mexico too. But for the Atlantic, it is this area right here. If we want to jump back to the graphics, Damien, this is a very low probability of development. But it is that time of year, folks. This likely not to have any kind of impact on the United States, if at all, let alone after 5 days. But we will keep you updated right here on MyRadar. All right, let's look at the satellite radar over the last 24 hours. A tale of 3 halves, if you will. The central United States dealing with active weather toward the latter half of this satellite radar loop. But you look at the east coast there, dealing with that flow coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, pushing northward into that system, pushing through Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Some severe thunderstorms out of that event. And then you look at the west of the United States and look over Arizona particularly. You see that rain. Arizona typically doesn't see a lot of that, but it is that time of year. It is monsoon season when you see the high pressure, which rotates clockwise, that keeps away the moisture. You've heard that expression, high and dry. Now you won't forget it. Dry weather associated normally with that high pressure, but reversing the flow to low pressure, bringing that moisture down to the surface. And we are seeing the wet weather over Arizona. It's certainly a good thing for people that are attempting to grow anything in the ground, but of course it's the desert for a reason, so even a little bit of rain could be very problematic. Damien, again, just let me know when those cameras are ready to go. If we don't take them, that's no big deal. But here, of course, is our next opportunity at severe weather. This is an enhanced risk across, as you can see, Minnesota, as well as Wisconsin and Iowa. That is that orange color there. That is a 3 out of 5 on the Storm Prediction Center's scale. Roughly 6 million or so people impacted by that enhanced risk. 13 million under a slight risk. That is that yellow color. And then that dark green, 63 million people. Of course, Chicago is included in that watch area, and that does extend into parts of Kansas too. So a lot of people under the gun for severe weather tomorrow. Mainly we'll be looking at pop-up thunderstorms capable of producing high winds up to 70 miles per hour, along with some isolated large hail. The tornado threat is low, but we certainly don't want to rule out seeing any, but watch out for the flooding, of course, with these heavy rains that can drop a lot of rain very quickly. Keep an eye on any of those problematic areas. You know those roads in your neighborhood, right? Those side roads that always have the problems. Keep an eye on those side roads, especially with storms like this pushing through. And here's how it will all break down. We'll fast forward to 5 o'clock into tomorrow morning, hump day, and we'll get things going into the afternoon, pausing right around 12:30. Notice at this point, still not too much going on out ahead of that cold front diving in from the north. But high pressure just to the southeast. You can see it in place there over South Carolina. Look at the way that it's rotating clockwise, right? So sending all of that moisture and energy from the south, particularly the Gulf of Mexico, which is boiling hot right now, sending all of that moisture northward to meet that advancing cold front, which will bring with it the storms, especially as we get into the late evening hours and into tomorrow. You can see how that line kind of matches right up along with that front. So definitely something to watch out for, the development of thunderstorms capable of bringing some larger hail into the late night hours of Wednesday and into Thursday possibly. Out ahead of that too, maybe even some pop-up thunderstorms as well. But as I mentioned, the rain certainly going to be problematic. Now, of course, this model updating on me here as we got ready to go live, that 5 to 7, more like 3 to 5. Although with, again, these storms, there's certainly the possibility for some heavier precipitation amounts. Bear in mind too, this is over the next 72 hours. Most of this rain though, coming over the next 24 to 48. So definitely something to key in on if you live in that area. But now let's take a look at the power outage forecast here. Of course, with these thunderstorms, strong winds associated with it, with the rain loosening up some younger trees, Then you have, of course, the high winds can easily take down trees and power lines. This is simply a model that's looking at strong winds and historical power outage information. It's not a guarantee whether or not you're going to lose power, but it's good for planning. So for the folks that live in Iowa, remember, you're under an enhanced risk tomorrow. Look at the time here, 3 o'clock, some spotty power outages, particularly across the central portion of the state. That's going to be near the Des Moines area. And then look what happens as you head into the late night hours of Wednesday. That's where things really begin to ramp up, even stretching as far back as Omaha, Nebraska. Pushing into northern Illinois, city of Chicago, again going to be impacted by these storms. And then as we head into Thursday and into Friday, less likely for us to see power outages due to weather, certainly not improbable, but it is going to be kind of that red-orange area that is going to be the bullseye for severe storms, whether or not we see any of those power outages. All right, Damien, let's jump to those weather stem cameras now, if we may. We begin in Gahanna, Ohio, again, courtesy of our partners at WeatherStem. Here's a live look at what's going on in the Buckeye State. Of course, go Bobcats, Ohio University. Best of luck to Orlando native Jason Preston in the NBA draft next week. Really excited to get more Bobcats in the NBA. But not too much going on in the Buckeye State. It was earlier today that we were seeing some stronger storms pushing through this area. Shout out to the groundskeeper at Columbus Academy. I mean, you want to talk about a beautiful looking field there? That's good stuff. Next, let's jump to the bluegrass state of Kentucky. Again, courtesy of our partners at WeatherStem. This is a good one. This is the Jim Beam plant in Boston, Kentucky. We got Old Glory there and the Commonwealth of Kentucky flag blowing in the breeze there. Again, wasn't too long ago, earlier this afternoon, that we were seeing some stronger storms pushing through, but hey, it wasn't too long ago that it was the 4th of July, so figured I'd show you this awesome camera with Old Glory blowing in the breeze. And then finally, let's round things out at ETV Charleston. This is Charleston, South Carolina, the low country. I mean, if you like seafood, that's the place for you. And look at that horizon. A beautiful look with some rain clouds there in the distance. Where again, not long ago, we were seeing some heavier storms, not to mention that this particular state was under the gun for Tropical Storm Elsa, seeing numerous tornadoes, of course, thunderstorms. It was really a mess there despite Elsa remaining a tropical storm, but bringing with it a lot of noise, especially near Hilton Head Island as it worked its way northward. Now, before we round things out, of course, we want to remind you that there is a sale going on at the MyRadar store, store.myradar.com. Use the promo code SUMMER10 to save 10% off your entire order. Again, SUMMER10, all one word. That will, if you order, a bunch of shirts, it will be 10% off that whole order. It's not limited to just one item. And the best part is a portion of the proceeds goes to Feeding America, which is a national nonprofit that assists communities affected by natural disasters, giving them food, medical supplies, what have you. Damien, if you want to take me on camera here, I'll show off the shirt. I mean, we wear these almost every day here at MyRadar on our Zoom calls. A good amount of people are wearing these. I'm not just saying that because I work for the company. Some of the most comfortable shirts that you will ever wear. I highly recommend them. Of course, you can get one for yourself. Store.myradar.com. We have anything from small to 2XL, so go get yourself one. And of course, all benefits a good cause. And finally, let's round things out. It's not Friday, but we like to always look ahead to the weekend. Shout out to Loverboy. Feel Good Friday here. This video comes to us from Memphis, Tennessee. This is Chelsea. She's a meteorologist in Memphis, Tennessee. Chief Digital Meteorologist Leslie Hudson would be proud of Chelsea here. A little frog came in getting away from the rain there. It got caught in the news station there, and she did her part to get the frog on the paper here. I think we have sound. You'll be able to hear. I thought it was pretty funny. At one point, she gets a little scared. The frog right there. The frog tries to jump up on her leg, or on her arm rather, and the frog is saved. It's out into the wild again. Back out where it belongs. Shout out to Chelsea, saving the animals. Again, we live here in Florida. There's been many times where these teeny little lizards that are everywhere here in Florida get caught in our building, and we have to bring them outside. Okay, let me be quiet.
Don't jump. Okay.
Here's Chelsea's reaction to the frog.
This is not working. Oh my God! Don't jump. Don't do it. Don't do it. No! I'm saving your life, sir. Oh, man, it jumped on me. Okay, you're welcome.
Good stuff. All right, shout out to Chelsea. Damien, I think that's probably going to do it. Again, I don't think I have any other housekeeping notes for people. Of course, if you are not already, be sure to follow us across our entire family of social media platforms. We are streaming live, of course, right now in the MyRadar app, but also, of course, we encourage you to follow us across our social media platforms. Damien, if you want to pull them up there, we've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as YouTube. We're on Twitch right now too, twitch.tv/MyRadarWX. There you go. You can see them down there at the bottom of the screen. Of course, on YouTube, subscribe and click on that notification bell. That way you always know whenever we drop a new video. Here, I'll step to the side. There's our plaque. Again, we had to hang this up in the studio. We are so proud of this, and we couldn't have done it without all of you there. And of course, big shout out to all of our winners of the smartphone giveaway. Let us know in the comments of this video if you want us to bring those smartphone giveaways back. Of course, I think that the response is probably going to be pretty positive toward winning a brand new smartphone. But let us know on social media what you want to see us give away next. We are so excited for what is to come here on MyRadar. So much exciting new content. Of course, it's hurricane season, so we will come at you live anytime there is a storm impacting the United States. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the guys in the back. Big shout out to Damien driving the show. And of course, big shout out to Chris, who is in the back shadowing Damien, learning the ropes here. We are so excited the MyRadar family continues to grow. But you are part of the MyRadar family as well. So we're psyched that you are along for the ride. But from all of us on the team, of course, there's a lot of severe weather coming toward the central United States. The western United States is hot. There are big fires, especially across Oregon. We wish everybody stays safe. And of course, stays dry. I have been meteorologist Mike Linden. We'll catch you back here in the next one. See ya.